All right, this video is for my entry into the lottery. Bobby Z puts this on, and he's been doing it for a number of years. And the winner gets an album from every letter in the alphabet, and it's through donate. It's through volunteers. So he is still looking for some volunteers. If you're interested in doing this, he will sign you a letter, and then with that letter, whoever wins, you will send them a letter. You will send them an album with that letter. My letter is the number sign, so I am number. Okay, but this contest goes to the end of June, so please feel free to enter this. You can get a lot of record albums if you happen to be the winner, and just hashtag Robert Z on there. So Bobby gave us 10 questions. What he says, kind of like his vinyl tag. A lot of people are doing them one question at a time. I don't want to put out 10 videos of me. I just don't. So we're going to do, maybe we'll do this in 2 or whatever, but we're kind of going to move this along. And what we're doing this is I'm on Michigan State campus, and this is the botanical gardens called Beale Gardens. It's been around for over 150 years. So it's one of the oldest botanical gardens within the state of Michigan. And it's been used to do different botanical experiments. I actually have a whole big, building set aside for botanical studies. So we're going to do it in here just for fun. So let's just do the very first question. It was, if you're at a Christmas party, you could invite 3 people, 3 rock stars, whatever, that have been dead. Who would you invite to your Christmas party? Well, that's pretty simple. I would invite Keith Moon, and John Bonham, and Ginger Baker. That's who I would invite. And then I would sit back in a corner and just watch and see what happens. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to interact. I'll video it because I'm pretty sure I could get a hell of a lot of likes on this thing, but I think that would be the most interesting Christmas party ever. Pure chaos. So that's question 1. Okay, question number 2, one song that you would like to hear that you would never like to hear again, a song that should be banished from now till eternity, that you should be thrown into jail if it were to ever be played, or if you played it, banished to hell. That's simple. The Starship, they built this city on rock and roll. I don't even get it. I don't even know what is a city built on rock and roll. Is that just filled with sex and drugs? I mean, what's happening? How do you do that? How do you make a city like that? All I know is I just absolutely can't stand that song, and it just gag reflexes, you just want to barf, and so it should be outlawed and never allowed to be played again. So that's number 2. Question 3, if there was an album that you would like to hear again for the first time. Basically, they had said if your mind was erased, so suddenly you didn't have any memory again, which I don't know, seems to happen every day anyway, so no big deal. But if you had one record that you would like to hear again for the very first time, what would it be? Fairly simple. That would be Miles Davis' Kind of Blue. I didn't hear that till the early aughts. When a neighbor gave it to me, because I'd never listened to Miles Davis. I knew who he was, and I was blown away. This is the most beautiful, amazing music I've ever heard. And it made me into a huge Miles Davis fan. I mean, I went nuts buying his CDs at that time. And it was all because of that one album, Kind of Blue. So, that feeling, that excitement that you get, I think that'd be a great album to have, and to do that all over again. So let's do it. Take my mind out. What was that? I don't remember what I just said. Oh, well. Okay, question number 4. You're going to have Mount Rushmore is going to be built for you. It's going to be a small one. It's going to be one that can go in the size of your record room. Maybe it'll be the size of your whole wall, but you're going to pick 4 artists to put onto this Mount Rushmore that you're going to have. So I want to make mine kind of fun. So the first head will be Dolly Parton. I just want to see how they carve her breasts out with this. That could be a very fascinating look. Number 2 is going to be Wanda Jackson. big hair Wanda Jackson, where it really goes up. And I want Dolly to have the big hair too, because I just think, again, that should just add something extra to this Mount Rushmore. Number 3, Barry Manilow. He has a big nose. How large can you make a nose on a mountain? How, as far as, will it stay up? Will it crumble? I mean, how far out can it go? Let's do Barry Manilow. And number 4 is Ray Charles, just because of those cool sunglasses. I think that would just look awesome on a mountain, wouldn't it? Or on your own personal little Mount Rushmore, just a cool set of sunglasses on there. Kind of offset the others between the big boobs, the hair, and the big nose. Cool sunglasses. So that's going to be my Mount Rushmore. Question 5, how do you come across to your subscribers on YouTube? And do you have a theme song? Well, first off, let's just address the theme song. Yes, I do. I used to play it all the time. Now just once in a while, but that's I use the tune from Mr. Rogers, his neighborhood, but mine's is Welcoming to My Record Room. I mean, it was my old record room, but that was kind of fun. And if I can get a clip, I'm going to put it in here just so you can hear that again. It's a beautiful day in my record room, a wonderful day in my record room. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? It's a music-filled day in my record room. Just sit right back and listen to that bass boom. Could you be mine? Won't you be mine? I've always wanted a subscriber just like you. I've always wanted to sit and talk with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Let's sit right back, and I'd like to say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my subscriber? Could you be? Would you be? Won't you be my subscriber? Hello, subscribers. As far as coming across to my subscribers, I think I come across a man of great authority, a man that knows what's going on, a man that you listen to. You sit down, you put away, you know what? You don't do anything else. You just sit there in awe at what he has to say. Yeah. Or maybe not, and just a guy that, how the hell did he get on YouTube? And if that guy can do it, I know I can do this. That might be more of it. I'm more of just conversational. I just like to sit down and I'm just talking to you. That's it. We're just having a nice conversation. I'm just enjoying myself. And I think that's how I kind of come across. Though I think the other way would be kind of cool, but let's face it, that's not going to happen. Okay, question number 6. If you could organize and plan a list of epic concerts, what artists would you pick to represent the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and aughts? Who would you pick? Who would you bring in to be part of this concert? In the 60s, we're bringing in Miles Davis. Miles Davis was hot, especially toward the end as he brought in his jazz fusion and he began to go electric. I think that would be great. In the 70s, Ricky Ilaganga would be in the house. Yes, we're going to bring in the Zamrock, one of the greatest guitarists ever. And I think Ricky Ilaganga would just tear it up. In the 80s, Public Enemy. Those first few albums by Public Enemy, they were dynamite. They were rough. They were tough. They got you notice. We would bring that in and get some excitement happening. In the 90s, let's do Beck. Beck made some awesome stuff in the 90s, and yeah, why not? Let's bring him in. We're kind of doing the rap thing. And finally, the aughts, I want YouTube. All That You Left Behind, I thought was one of the greatest albums they ever did, and I saw them in concert around that time. So yeah, U2. I think that's a pretty well balanced concert, don't you? We got jazz, rap, we got Zamrock, and rock. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. Great concert. Don't forget to come. Tickets are going to be a lot, but don't worry about it. All profits go to me. Question number 7. This is actually a really good one. What's your intent? What do you plan to do with your collection when you die? Now, my first thought was to have the vinyl melted and made into like a Viking ship or something, and I would be put in there. We'd throw in some wood, and I'd be sailed out to sea and burned. But, well, that sounds like a lot of work. Both my boys really have no interest in vinyl, so Maybe my grandson will. Maybe I have more grandsons. Maybe one of them will want to pick that up. It's kind of hard to say. I don't know. I actually think what I will do is and I'm getting to that age where I think about this a lot, is eventually I'll start selling it. And just, it'll be part of my retirement, just sell some stuff and use it for something else, whether it be travel or just something for the kids for later in life. But instead of having, thousands of albums for them to deal with, which really kind of is a pain in the ass when you think about it, that's a lot of work. If I could sell some of it and, you're not going to get a lot, obviously, but something's better than nothing, and it just make it easier for them. I think that would probably be the best to do with it. I mean, the Viking ship, a vinyl Viking ship, is pretty damn cool. Or I can make a lot of like platters and clocks out of the vinyl records, and selling craft shows. There's that too. Hey, that's right now. Right there's a $200 Odyssey and Oracle record, but it's a clock right now, and I'm only asking $25 for it. Pretty exciting, huh? I mean, what a deal. So, yeah, kind of my thoughts on that. Question number 8 dealt with grails. What is a grail? Do you have a grail? Here's the thing. There are no more grails, and people just need to stop looking. They're gone. And there's a good reason for why they're not around anymore. It's because I found it. Yes, this is the Holy Grail. This is what everyone's been searching for years. This is the Cup of Christ, and I found it, and it's mine. So just quit looking, folks. Your Grail, it's not in Jesus. They didn't have records back then. So this craziness about, oh, the Grail, this is a Grail record. No, if you watch Indiana Jones, you'll get it. This is it. And so I was so excited when I found this, and I found it back in the woods. I put it on a stand. I just thought, that is so neat. I want to take this most holiest of holy relics and attach it to a stand, just so I can display it. And people come in, they look, oh, is that the Grail? They go, well, yes, it is. Would you like a drink out of it? Hey, beer tastes, pretty phenomenal off this. And if you put water in there, the damn stuff turns to wine. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So, stop with the Grail nonsense, folks. I have it. Okay, there it is. But if you feel you must, and as far as record grails, to me, it's something that's almost not attainable. That's a grail. And when you look at the way it is now, we have eBay, you have Discogs, you have so many different ways in which you can attain something. If you want to pay for it, you can get it. It's there. It isn't like I'll never find it in the world. Probably the closest thing I actually have a variety of African albums here. And that one's going to fall down. And this one, let me get it. This is the one that for the concert from the 70s, Ricky Iliganga. This would be, probably my most expensive single album that I have. It is an original from Zambia, and very, very neat. And it's in pretty good condition considering it's been sitting in Africa. If I had to say there was a record that's a grail, that's it. I got from Noble Records, so wasn't like I was going all over the world on a quest to find that. So kind of my thought about grails, I don't put a lot of stock into, is it a grail? Just some records are very hard to find or very, very expensive to get, but you can get them. You're just going to have to pay for it. That's that. Number 9, favorite artist of all time. Who is it? Do you have anything special from them or whatever? Well, all my memorabilia got washed away, so I don't have a whole lot of memorabilia, but my favorite artist is Miles. And he's going to play that concert to represent the 60s, as you remember. And do I have something here? I thought I did. Hold on. I found it. I do have something from Miles Davis, and I have this. my oldest son, Paul, when he got married, I was part of his wedding party, and he had this made for me, my boutonniere, Miles Davis. Isn't that neat? And we got, you know, yeah, there he goes, kind of blue right on there. So this was really, really neat. Otherwise, as far as I have more Miles Davis records than anybody else, I mean, that's all Miles Davis. And if I go down here, that's all, you know, you can't see it. There it is. That's all Miles Davis. Yeah. Well, of course, he's in the front too. So it's the one artist that I do have repeats of albums of. Otherwise, I don't, because of space limitations and everything. So he, even though I am not a big jazz person, he is the one that makes me smile and makes me feel good and relax. And he's cool. So, yeah, Miles Davis, greatest artist of all time. So question number 10 is, if you were to win the lottery, what kind of records do you want? Is there special genres? Is there special type? Is there stuff you don't want? I don't think too much about it. In 4 years, I've won one contest. I entered a lot of them. But, you know, I just enter because I want to screw around and have fun. I really don't take my answers too serious. I'm in the backyard, kind of going to the nature reserve that we have in our backyard, making sure I'm not stepping in deer poop. I'm looking for Don the old goat. I haven't seen a video from him in a long time, and he likes to go to the woods and looks for mushrooms, and I'm just seeing that maybe he moved up, came up from Indiana to Michigan. But let's get back to, there's some deer poop. So get back into that question. If I were to win, what would I like? And, you know, here's what I would tell anybody sending me something. You're going to send me an album, send me something that means something to you. I think that's the most special type of album. And in fact, write a comment on there, something, piece of paper, whatever, type it, on why this album means something to you. What is the importance of this album? And share that. That's, you know, to me, that's something special. That's something you'll always want to keep. It'll be there. You'll have that note in there forever, and it'll just be kind of a neat keepsake to have. You know, you can write ahead, say, hey, do you have this album? Because it's a special album. If you do, that's fine. We'll figure out something else. But it would be, you know, it doesn't matter of a genre. You know, if I'm not into heavy metal, but this heavy metal album means something to you, then that's worth having, because it's special. There's something in this, and it allows you to listen to find it and see if you can also connect with it. So I think that would be the best way to go to get something really meaningful if you happen to win the lottery. So that's it. That's all 10 questions. So for those of you, if you want to do this, if you want to enter the lottery, I have a link in the description. Please go in there. It'll take you over to Robert Z's channel, and you'll be able to see the video where he talks about this. Now, he has 10 different videos for the 10 questions. I just said them. I said them very quickly. Robert will go into a lot longer explanation on what you can do with them, so do that. If you want to be a volunteer, this goes on to the end of June. The contest goes to the end of June. You can volunteer up to the last day. We're still looking for a few more people to get a couple more letters put in. It's a great thing. It's kind of fun. You're going to send out whoever wins. It could be you. It could be someone else. You got to enter to win, obviously, make a video. But you're going to share the gift of music. And that's really the neat part of this whole thing. And whoever does gets a heck of a lot of records. So, yeah, take a look at this thing. I think it's a great, I've done this now for 3-4 years, and it's been a good time every time. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your week.